getting a little pumpy here? Huh? Are we trying to get a little pumpy?
Crypto on my mind, wasting all my time.
Hey.
I can't get away from you. Said I'm working 9 to 5, trying to stay alive. I just wanna play with you. Said I'm working 9 to 5, trying to stay alive. I can't get away from you.
Oh shit.
Crypto on my mind, wasting all my time. I just wanna play
Here
with
we
you.
go. So, this is interesting.
All my time, I can't get away from you. Said I'm working.
This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. This is gonna be interesting. In order to really understand what we're doing, to really understand the meaning of life, well, you need to almost lose your life. That's right. And to really understand the meaning of trading, well, you almost need to lose almost all of your money to really understand the value of your hard-earned, worthless money. Right? What is a W without lots of losses? What is a loss without a bunch of W's? The body, the brain, the mind needs to feel, needs to experience things in order to graduate into a mature mindset. Okay? So, the term fuck around and find out, you're supposed to fuck around and find out. Okay? In today's video, well, Bitcoin, Ethereum, they've both pooped their pants for the time being. And the question is, are we ready to rally now? You know, your relief rally that you've been oh so fond about. The relief rally. Is it still in? Is the relief rally still in? That is the question. Sure, it could be in. But now, it's much more harder to gain those gains that you're thinking. I don't know what your relief rally looks like, but as you can see, we're already have levels that we need to break. Now that we have fallen down in the channel, let's switch it over to the official charts that I use. Now, you see where the signal got weak from the beginning, okay? And as you can see, we are in a downward trajectory, okay? And in my last video, as you notice, we did hit the corner. We bounced off of the corner to the right, hit our heads on, well, resistance line right here, and dropped again out of the channel for a nice buy, back up for a rally, and struggling where? Right at the trend line, where Ethereum would always bounce from here, 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 but not here. Interesting, right? So now things have gotten harder because your relief rally has more levels of resistance to break through now. Okay? Things didn't get easier for this rally. No. Okay? Because now we have set up shop underneath. Okay? We have never been underneath, right? With real candles that have built underneath. Okay? This is underneath the trend line. Okay? That is not good because what that means is we are in a lower channel. We are on the upper side of a lower channel. Okay? And what I mean by that is this is a channel. Right? This top part is a channel. Right? See what I'm saying? And now what we're doing is we're forming the lower channel. Okay? We are forming the lower channel and we are about to try to eat some more liquid. And you can see underneath these, this was lots of support. Boom, bounce zones, support going to the upside, right? So, knowing that, this is what we're looking at right now. We are looking at a battle at $3,000, okay? ETH is battling with 3,000 ETH soldiers, okay? And right now, what could happen is what has happened is we found resistance here. We dropped down, created a bottom there. Now we're rallying up. We're finding more resistance on the upper side, which is not good, okay? Number two, where's the volume coming from? Everybody wants to say, oh, yeah, volume, volume, volume. Yeah, that's true, though. Where is the volume going to come from? Where's it going to come from? Not you and me. It ain't coming from unemployment. It ain't coming from stimulus checks. It ain't coming from tax returns. No, that ain't going to happen, dude. Where is it going to come from? It's not going to come from anywhere. Okay? It ain't going to come from the people. If Bitcoin does move, it'll move because the market makers will move it. Okay? It's not because of news. No, the market makers use the news and you to make money. Okay? They don't plan something and the news says something. No. This whole thing is rigged. Okay. That's a whole nother topic. Who invented Bitcoin? Who brought Bitcoin into the world? It wasn't this guy named Satoshi or, whatever the fuck you want to call him. That's not true. That's not true, okay? You could believe in that. And if you do, I'll just call you a new guy. Okay? You're a new guy. All right. But as you can see, in my last video, I was telling people about this channel. Now, don't get it twisted. Okay, we could rally and start breaking these barriers right here. Okay, we could start breaking like this wall, go up, and boom, just start breaking them down. But that's going to be really hard to do right now. Right now, you know, we've buried ourselves into a hole, buried alive. You know what I'm saying? And we're fighting our own battle to get up again. Okay? Now, at a certain time, we are going to rally, and this could be the sideways rally action to take us up again, right? Or not. There's always two sides to the coins. But you need to understand what is going on here, okay? You fall down, right? You rally, you fall down. Boom. We get our little level. We try to find some kind of support here to get a bounce. We couldn't even get it. We lost it. Boom. We come down. We come back for a retest. What happened there? Bam. Okay, so that's one lost. Round 2 we lost. Here comes round 3. Boom. Here comes for another spot. Boom. Bam. There's an upside down inverse head and shoulders right there. It's legit. It's legit. You know what I mean? Upside down head and shoulders. But ETH is sinking. Love seeing that. Love the rejection. I want to see us travel more down the road on this journey to hell. Okay? I want to see this thing go sideways, get touched right here, go down, come back up, boom, go down for another big drop. Okay? That's what I want to see. Because if that happens, now I'm sitting on $5,000 ETH instead of 3. And who would want 3 when you can have 5? Right? Excuse me. Let me grab a drink. Alrighty. So this is what I want to see. Well, it's not about what I want to see, man. But this is what I'd like to see. Is something like that. And what I'll do is I'll just make it a little translucent, transparent. That way we can ghost ride that motherfucker. Yeah, look at this 1 hour double top. You know what the 1 hour double top leads to, right? Another 1 hour candle that goes whoop, whoop, kerplunk. Yeah. Let's go check back on the trade skis. Let's go check back on the trade skis, broskis. So, ETH trade is sitting on 3,400. BTC trade is sitting on 1,100 right now. We're looking pretty good. I took profit on my BCH trade earlier. Got that out of the way because BCH started pumping to the upside. As you can see, all the altcoins are catching a bit of a relief right now. And look at BTC. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, BTC sunk all the way down to 563. From 659 to 563. Damn near $100 worth. And in one day, it came right back up to almost $600 from 562. BCH, I don't know how I got into BCH, but I got into BCH early. Not early, but I bought like 5 or 6 of them at, I want to say 200 flat. And that was a really, really fun spot trade. Now you see BCH. Look at how crazy this chart is, dude. Incredible. Like just the volatile, like the swings, boom, 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 boom. It is really following, right? Gotta see. BTCC. BCH. It's looking pretty shitty, if you ask me. And let's go look at Solana really quick. Let's see what it's been doing. Since the fall, it has recovered a little bit. It reached 124. And it's sitting on 128. And it's struggling to find a home and build support on this resistance line right here. So we know that if it builds a couple more 4-hour candles leading into tomorrow that are below this area, right? If it does that, then we know we can expect somewhat of a signal that could lead downward, right? That is very fucking possible. And that could send Solana down back to a very important range of 120. Okay? 120 to your 115 is your last stop for Solana, for some kind of a buy zone. Okay? I would have to say that would be it for Solana right there. And I'm kind of ready for all these coins to start getting into a bear market. Which, if they haven't done already, but I'll tell you what, Solana has time. Solana do not get it twisted. Solana is gonna be something humongous in the future because, you could talk about XRP and all this stuff. And yeah, I like it too, but Solana has proven its stability in network transactions, high volume capacity transactions. I mean, it stood the test of time. It stood so many meme coin. I mean, listen, Solana's the most fastest, cheapest, biggest volume. It's a powerhouse, okay? And let's not get it twisted. We could all be here for a big old bait and switch at the end of it all when these banks start choosing who they're going to work with. What if XRP never even comes through with the deal and Solana gets chosen? Have you ever even thought about that? No, because you're so fucking one-sided. This is how these people work. They throw a fork in the middle of the road and they fuck you up because you were leaning so hard on one side that they know how to fuck you and bend you over. That's how this shit works. This is money. You think it was easy? It's not. Okay? It was easy 12 years ago. Now it's not. And another thing we should try doing today is looking at these Bitcoin tops and bottoms, right? For these bull runs and bear markets that Bitcoin has every season, every cycle that it goes through. And I think we should just keep track and we should try to find, an average of where Bitcoin can fall in its next bear market cycle. How many years does Bitcoin's bear market cycle last for? One year. Okay. Let's have a stroll back down memory lane. So one of Bitcoin's first bear markets happened back in June 2011, and you don't have to count this, but we are in this research today, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to take the percentages of all of Bitcoin's bear market drops, okay? And we're going to find the differences. We're going to find the medium average of each cycle and all the cycles together to find out a median average. Then we're going to find the average difference in percentage, right? Then we are going to find that next percentage, that estimated percentage, and apply it to the current all-time high, which technically right now we could be, the bear market could have started technically, and the 4-year cycle could still be intact. Nothing is fucking broken. But the bear market could have started on October 10th when we hit $126, $127. Okay? We can technically say that. And plus, what has happened since that all-time high? Well, we've gone into a bear market structure. Hello? McFly, anybody fucking home? So, stop being so delusional and understand how cycles work. Now let's get back to the fucking task. We are going to research and get all the bear market percentage drop rates, starting with this. And we don't have to count all of them, right? But we will acknowledge all of them. Okay, so here we go. The first percentage that we're going to use is when Bitcoin first started in inception. It raised all the way up to $31 and crashed down for 5 months to $195. Look how young Bitcoin is right there. Incredible. Now on this percentage, you go from $30 all the way down to $2 or so, right? That is a 93% drop for 5 years, 5 months straight. It just went down for 5 months straight until you got down to 93% of Bitcoin's value was lost. Incredible, right? So first number, 93%. Remember that. 93%. First cycle. Okay. Now, what happens next? Well, we go in cycles, guys. And let me show you visually. Oh, my camera died. Hold on. Stop loss boss in this motherfucker one time. Yo, we're out here, dude. We're fucking out here, dog. Hold on, let me put this new battery in my camera. All right, we're back. So, our first one is gonna be 93%, dude. Think about your portfolio. 93% of Bitcoin. Do you want to hold Bitcoin and watch it go under 93 fucking percent? No. No, you don't. You don't want to do that. In the beginning, you do, because in the beginning, you're new and you think it's good to hodl. You know what I'm saying? You think it's good to hodl or something. Now, what kind of fun, that's just new talk, right? And I don't want to get too carried away with that bullshit, okay? Because I could sit here and talk shit all I want, but we don't got to do that today. We're going to go through these cycles. Now, you have 5 months down, and then you have 2011, October, November. Isn't that funny how we always land in Q4 for top or bottom? It's fucking hilarious, dude. We've been doing it since Bitcoin was in diapers. Okay? So we come down October 2011. Boom. 2014, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's a 4-year fucking cycle. What do you know? And here we go. We begin Bitcoin's world famous 4-year cycle. Okay? Now, we reach look at this big fake out too. You could probably we're probably in a situation like this too, kind of right now, where we're in a big fake out, right? But they're trying to fake you out to think that there's going to be a relief rally to an all-time new high. Like, snap out of it. Just smack yourself, please. Smack yourself hard. If you're a bull, I hate to be, that guy, but smack yourself because you're not being real. You're not a chart guy then. You need to understand that there's so much, especially with yesterday and today now, we have made it that much harder because a lot of levels of support have now flipped into resistance. And we have made it that much harder to get back up now. And that's something you're going to learn once you start trading and realizing and using these charts. You start learning how important these levels, these resistance and support flips are. It's everything about trading. It is trading. It's all resistance. It's all support, flips, and channels. And spider lines, spider lines. They'll make you lots of money. They will. The spider lines have made me more money than any indicator. Now, this is fun because here's Bitcoin's real first 14-month bear market. A 14-month bear fucking market, dude. Think about that. 14 months from November to January. Incredible. So that's a 1-year bear market. How many percent did we lose here? %86%. 86%, dude. 86% for the next cycle. Okay? 86% here. Let's go to the next bear market, which started in 2018. From the top to the bottom, we have 84%. Third cycle. 84%. So we have 93%, 86%, and 84%. Let's go to the double top. Okay. And we don't have to count the first one. The first one kind of doesn't count. You know what I mean? So here's the bear market. We go from 69K all the way down to 15 or whatnot. Now that's a 77. 77% for the last one. Okay. So, this is interesting. We have 93% for the first one, right? 86%. Now, the first one doesn't really count The real 4-year cycle starts with the 86%, the 84%, and our third cycle, which was the COVID one, was a 77% bear market drop. Okay, so let's take that 93 out. We don't need to use that. Or we can. Right? But let's find the average. Okay? Let's tell Gemini, let's put all these Bitcoin bear market cycle percentage drops and find the difference and median percentage so we can add it to the next cycle or apply it to our current cycle top, which is what, 126, 127? 127K. Bada bing, bada boom. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So let's see what we get. This is a great data-driven way to look at the market. By calculating the median and the difference average, you are accounting for the diminishing volatility theory. And that is correct, because what happens with Bitcoin, right, every time we create an all-time new high, but every 4 years, the cycle, we diminish in percentage gains. Okay? So one cycle before you might be at 100x. The next cycle will be 70x. The next cycle after that will be only a 50x. It's diminishing, but the price action of the all-time highs in Bitcoin still gets higher every cycle. It just doesn't get as high as the last cycle. It always loses percentages in profit gains, okay? But you do still see all-time highs, brand new ones. It's kind of hard to explain, but once we go through this, maybe you'll understand it more, maybe. So let's check it out. Based on the top of 127K and the data points you've provided, 93%, 86%, 84%, 77%. Here's the breakdown for your episode. The raw data analysis first. Let's look at the decay rate, the difference between cycles, to see how much the crashes are shrinking. Cycle 1 to 2 was 93% to 86%. That's a 7% difference. Cycle 2 to 3 was 86 to 84%. That's a 2% difference. Cycle 3 was 84 to 77. That is a 7% difference. The average difference reduction every cycle is 5.33%. Okay. That is the magic number we are looking for to determine what we may be trying to use as a variable for this cycle now. Okay, the median versus trend projections. We can now apply these metrics to the current peak of 127K, scenario A. The historical median, the pain scenario, if we take the median of all past drops, 85% is the average median of all the drops. We assume that this cycle will be just as brutal as the middle ground of history. Calculation 127K times 1 minus 0.85. Projected bottom 19K. This is scenario A. This is a very, very, very bearish, grim, full bottom scenario for Bitcoin. Okay, this is the full bottom scenario. Is 19K. And wouldn't you love that? I'd have to buy 4 or 5 Bitcoin at least at that point. At that point, I'd have to buy 5 of those. There's no questioning that, okay? If we ever get the 19K, right? So 85% would be scenario A if we were to use the median theory, which is the average of all the big drops, would be 85%. And that would bring us down to 19K. And let's just double check if ChatGPT is actually correct. And, you know, they probably are. Here's 126,900, about 127K. And if we go down, how many percent? 80 something. Yep. 80 something. 84, 85%. 84.24 would bring us down to 20K. So 85% would bring us down right to $19,000. Incredible. That would be really awesome. That would be really awesome. Ooh, Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is trying to pump right back up right now. Let's put it on the 4. Boom. We're building a candle right back in. Do we have a 4-hour in there? No, but we could build another 4-hour candle. And it's going to be above the white line. And as soon as it does that, it can actually catch fire and go straight to these 2 lines right here and try to really break through them. And if they do, it's a runoff right to the top, right back to 95K. Okay, that's how that's going to work. So, unless we find some resistance and we lose that white line, and if you see a 4-hour candle form below this white line, you have my permission to throw in a nice fucking short bet. Okay? So, Gemini was correct about that. The last cycle match, the repeat scenario, if we simply repeat the last bear market's drop of 77%, the calculation would be 127K times 1 minus 0.77%. The projected bottom would be a 30K bottom. And if that was the case, I'd have to get probably 3 Bitcoins or so. Yeah. Yeah. 77% from 127. Let's check it out right here. Okay. So 77% all the way down would bring us to, I have here, it says 27 or 28K. 28K. at 77%. And they have 29K. Good job. Scenario C, the difference average, the maturing market scenario. Okay, this is the scenario that everybody and their moms are talking about, man. This is the scenario that everyone is telling me, my peers, about the mature market scenario, right? And this is a good one. So, if we apply the average difference, 5.33% to the last drop, we project a new, shallower bottom. Okay? It's not as big as those other drops we were talking about. If we use the 5.33 and we put it to this year, we would actually have a 71% drop. This is often what happens as institutional money enters. The calculation, blah, 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 the projected bottom would be 35.9. So 36K. Okay. This is very interesting stuff, right? So we have three different metrics here. The median of all cycles, which we used, is an 85% drop from the top. That would put us down into 20K, which is the dream drop. That's only 5,000 above 4 years ago at 15K. Okay. That is the dream scenario. The last cycle repeat would be 77%. That would take us down to 30K, which is also, I am not complaining. I will be so happy to see Bitcoin tap 29K or 30K. I would have to scoop some up. If that happens, I don't have time to wait for a 20K. So, and last but not least, we have the difference average, which we found out the difference average in every cycle is about 5.5%. Okay. So if we added that to our scenario right now from the top, 126, 127K, that would put a 71% drop and bring us down to $36,000. So 71%. 71% would be $37,000. Incredible. $37,000. I want to see if there's anything over there. Yep, that sounds that'd be amazing. I would love the 37. Perfectly fine with me. Nah, actually I need the 30. I need the full 30 or 30 and below is perfect. So we are on the daily candle, guys. And this is why this chart is important, okay? Because this channel is so fucking important, guys. Golly, this is so fucking important because this white channel, okay, that we've been trading on this whole time, getting out of there, boom, lost it, getting out of there, lost it, back in, lost it, boom, boom, boom. Now we're underneath. We slid back in, now boom, okay? So what's going on here is this. What's going on here is this. We're back in the channel, but we've just lost it. And now we're creating a daily candle. And look at how perfect. I mean, and when I say these lines don't move, I keep them where they're at for months, years, some of them. Okay? Look how perfect that daily candle is sitting right below with the wick above it. And guess who's the gatekeeper of all that? The white trend line. Incredible. Okay? So this is something that you have to understand. If we create tomorrow another daily candle and we don't close this green candle right here at the top right here, so the next one can build and at least fall down and have some kind of support to go maybe sideways or bounce up from that wall, okay? That is the bullish scenario. The bearish scenario is we close the daily below. Oh my gosh. If that happens, guys, the minute the daily comes out, I think you're going to see it fulfill the whole gap down of the candle. So that's $1,000, dollar movement, which is good if you 50x it. And from there, you're waiting for another bounce back up to test. And you could see this for a couple days, maybe for 1 week before you actually see some huge fucking movement again. Okay. Now, for me, I'm hoping we close down below because I am a bear. I have a fatty fucking short out on BTCC. Boom. And I am looking for Bitcoin to fail. That is it for today, guys. Let's do it again. I'll be back on tomorrow. Same time, same place, 1 in the morning, 1 at night. And please like, subscribe. Please tell me what kind of tokens you want me to do chart analysis on. Please tell me what you're interested in. And are you trading crypto right now? Are you holding spot crypto? Have you sold your spot? Do you plan on holding just forever? Or do you want to be a better trader? Do you want to profitize and not feel any kind of remorse for your decisions and not feel so anxious and insecure? If you want that and you want to become a better trader, I totally invite you to my Discord.